Hello students, welcome to new session. Today we shall start first lesson of biology, that is the living world. You all might have studied in your junior classes that matter is divided into two things. They are living and non-living. So in your junior classes, you might have studied it and you have studied a very few points of difference and a very general points like which can breathe are living, which can't breathe are non-living, which can move are living, which can't move are non-living. There are so many superficial observation which you had in your junior classes. But actually, how can we differentiate whether something is living or non-living? You know, all the plants, animals, microorganisms which are harboring on our earth crust, they all are living. And many things like mountains, rivers, soil, and oceans, sky, we call them non-living. So actually, how can we differentiate? So in biology, we have some basic properties by which we can say whether something is living or non-living. So first characteristics of living being is growth. Characteristics of growth. What do you mean by growth? If you generally see, if something is becoming thicker, wider, or it is increasing in length, it is increasing in dimension, it is increasing in volume, we generally call it growth. But biologically, what is growth? The growth is actually, it is increase in body mass or dry weight through the intrinsic source. You might have seen if we will blow air in a balloon, its size will increase. Does it grow? Is the balloon a living thing? No, not at all. The balloon size is increasing through the external source. When we are blowing the air into it, its size is increasing, but it is not through the intrinsic source or due to the cellular material. Similarly, you might have seen that when something gets deposited on the rock, the size increases. We cannot say this is growth. Growth is actually due to the cellular activities. We may consider the growth either by increase in dimension of the cell or by increase in number. Like if we see the bacteria are very small, minute in size. So how do we see their growth? When the bacteria will multiply and their big colony is formed, we will say the bacteria has intrinsic source of the cell. Like if we are wearing 4 5 sweaters in winter season and we look obese, we can't say that we have grown. That is not growth, actually that is through the extrinsic or outer source. But if somebody has put on weights due to internal metabolic activities by deposition of fat and all, then we can say he has growth. So, can we say if something is not growing, it is dead? No. We cannot consider only growth as a parameter of living. So, growth is a non-definitive property. Second characteristics of living being is reproduction. Reproduction, it is a biological process by which the living thing produce their own kind. A cow produces cow, a goat produces goat, a neem plant produces a neem plant, a bacteria produces a bacteria. So this process by which the living things produce their own kind is called reproduction. There are several modes of reproduction, asexual and sexual. But again, we cannot say if somebody is not reproducing, it is dead. There are many organisms, sometimes they do not reproduce, but still they are alive. So, reproduction is also not a definitive property of living beings. Third, metabolism. What is metabolism? All the activities which are going on in the body of a living being altogether is called metabolism. In our body, a lot of reactions are going on. In some reactions, complex products are broken down to simpler ones. Such reactions are known as metabolism, like digestion, respiration, and many other. And there are several reactions in which simple compounds are used to produce or synthesize complex compounds, like photosynthesis, protein synthesis, fat synthesis, hormone synthesis, and many more. So all those reactions in which complex compounds are formed from the simple one are called anabolism. So metabolism has two parts: anabolism and catabolism. So whatever may be the level of organism, whether it is unicellular, multicellular, all the organisms, they need metabolism to survive. They need to produce energy, they need to synthesize many material. So all those activities which are needed for the survival of the organism, they occur through metabolism. So we can say metabolism is a definitive property of living being. If no metabolism, we will say that organism is dead. Next, fourth property of living being is cellular organization. Whatever may be the shape or size of the organism, whether it is very minute like amoeba, euglena, or bacteria, whether it is very huge bodied like a blue whale whose weight is equal to around 30 elephants. Every organism's body is made up of cell and their product. The number and shape and size and types of the cell vary from organism to organism, but every organism's body is made up of cell and its products. So that's why we can say cellular organization is also a definitive property. Because if there is not any cell in the body, or if there are dead cells, we can say the organism is not alive. Next property is consciousness. What is consciousness? It is the ability of organism to respond to its environment, whether it is internal environment or external environment. Whatever may be the level of organization of organism, shape or size, every organism has capacity to respond to its environment, whether it is internal or external. Like if we take a drop of water containing amoeba on a slide and we slightly start heating one corner of the slide, we will observe that the amoeba are moving away from that area of heating. It means they are responding to the changes in the environment in the form of temperature. The level of response may be simple or very highly complex. It varies from organism to organism. But all the living beings, they have capacity to respond to environment. So this property of organism is called consciousness. So we can say this consciousness is also a basic fundamental property of living beings. So we have seen that there are many characteristics of living things. A few basic characteristics we have discussed. They are growth, reproduction, metabolism, consciousness, etc. Now we shall discuss biodiversity. What is biodiversity? We will see actually a large number of plants, animals, and a variety of microorganisms are harboring on surface of the earth. They are present deep in oceans. They are present in very high mountain ranges. They are present in desert. They are present in different types of water bodies, having a variety of climate. They are even present on the polar ice caps. Even they are present in and on our body. So all these living beings, they contribute to the biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to all the plants and animals living on the surface of earth. So it is estimated around 1.7 to 1.8 million species are harboring on the surface of earth, and more than that are still to be explored. It is a very small part of the living beings harboring on the earth crust known to us. Many are still to be explored. So how to study biodiversity? We have to follow certain steps to study biodiversity. Like first step is identification. We have to identify the organism. Like in our classroom, we can identify every student by looking their features. Now, after identification, we have to assign a particular name to the organism. That step is called nomenclature. After nomenclature, we have to classify the organism in a particular category. That step is called classification. So we can study biodiversity through these steps. First, we have to identify the organism. What are the characteristics that we can characterization also. Like if we see a plant, so what type of body it has, what type of root system is there, what type of leaf are present on it, what type of fruit it is having. There are several other characters like it has flower or not. Similarly, for animals also we can see many things like number of cell, symmetry, coelom, body organization. There are many more. So by observing those features or characters, we can identify the organism. Then we can assign a name to the organism, and then we have to classify. Classification. You know, if we have to study the organism on the living organism on the earth crust, we see that numbers are there. See, if we have to ask the books in the bag of a student of class 11th, then we can say easily that a student of class 11th A has this books. Why? Because we have actually categorized the class in different category. Like this is 11th class science students, these are biology students, these are maths. But if we do not have such grouping, we have to go to each and every student of class 11th randomly, and we have to ask and note the name, and it will take lot of time. So to make our study easy, we have to classify the organism. So actually what is classification? Classification classification is the process of grouping organisms on the basis of their similarities and differences. Okay, once again, classification is the process of grouping organism on the basis of their similarities and differences. So, why do we need to classify organism? Actually, classification makes our study easy. If we study one organism of a group, we can predict the general feature of all the organism of that group. We can compare different groups if we have classified the organism. We can study the evolutionary relationship by studying the different groups of the organism, how they have developed from each other.